Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are reacting to Musi Maimane video that has been going around. So let's take a listen to what he says. And of course, somehow I will be pausing and saying some things. Of course, while you are doing that, watching with me, please share, subscribe, comment, like. Do that, dudes. I love you. Take care of yourself while you are watching. Watch until the end. Don't comment before you watch until the end. I will know. When you comment, I will know you didn't watch until the end. I'm joking, guys, but like, please. Thank you. Let's watch.
Hey Tada, how's
Wada,
everybody?
wada.
It's good to see you again, and as I promised, we're gonna touch base week on week, and this is our conversation for this week. I'm really wanting to speak to you about maybe in some ways the politics of this country, what's been going on. Many people have seen people leave parties to go to other parties. I want to touch base on that issue. I want to also look at what we've been doing in Parliament, because Parliament itself now has come back after constituency period. I want to also layer on just a couple of things that looks strongly on what happens to personalities and personality politics, and how actually the work of Parliament is impacting people at a grassroots and at a local level. And then we finish in Joburg, my hometown, my community, and now we've elected it's mayor number 11.
Oh,
And he's been there before, but it doesn't change the fact that this is the 11th change we've seen. What does that mean? What does it mean for the people? So let's get on with it. Like everybody else, I think all of us were shocked when learning of the news of maybe FLOYD SHIVAMBU moving towards MK.
First of all, whether you believe me or not, it's okay. I'm not saying it's so that you can believe me. But the only thing that actually shocked me was the fact that it was Shivambu leaving the EFF. Okay. But when it comes to the incident or the drama of the thing, or not the drama, the whole thing, okay, I was not surprised. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is, you remember Malema going to Nkandla with a tea thing, going to drink tea with Jacob Zuma. Do you think in your mind that Malema just went there for tea? Obviously, I believe that Malema is smart enough, to be able to know what is going to happen during the elections. They may not be 100%, they knew 100%, but they were suspecting that if the ANC goes below 50%, obviously they will have to come up with a plan. Okay? So, from my side alone, in my own corner, I was not surprised that it happened, but I was surprised that it was FLOYD SHIVAMBU leaving the EFF. Okay?
And South Africans, we suddenly on social media became experts of body language and many other things. Now, I've been in.
You see, when a person makes a video, and you start by using that statement, as a person who makes videos, okay, because we are different people who are making videos on YouTube. Some of us, we just make videos or based on what we see, and then we take that, we put on the video. Some of us, we are more critical. That means we are more overthinking things, okay? So when he says now that all of a sudden, South Africa, he doesn't even say some of South Africans. He says South Africans, all of a sudden they became a body language readers or experts, Listen, guys, when you start a video like that, for me, to be honest with you, you are blocking me to listen. Because what you are saying to me is, listen, I have got more experience. I'm not saying he says that, but I'm saying what you are telling me, because when you say the statement, there are things that are going to come in my mind. I'm going to be thinking, okay, he knows better than I do. So when this story was happening, he was quiet. So we had to speak about it the way we see it. And I don't think he says that we must not do that. But I don't like the statement that he uses, that the South Africans now, they became his body language, whatever. What I do, so sometimes there are videos that there is a guy who is a body language expert. I listen to his videos. Okay. Now the reason why I'm doing that is the fact that I like when I'm looking at the video and see the body language of people. I do like that. I don't just listen to what a person says. I also listen to what their body language says. For example, if you listen to him now speaking, you can tell that his body language, he believes what he's saying, and he wants people to hear what he is actually saying. And when he says he was shocked when the Floyd, you can see in his face. But there are people that when they speak something, you can tell that, nah, my guy, no, 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 no. Your body language, what? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I'm an expert in body language, but I don't like what he says. To say South Africans now, they've suddenly became on social media. It's social media at the end of the day. It's YouTube at the end of the day. We are not the same. We make things different. Okay. I look beyond that. If you are a person who looks at the video and then on the surface, that's okay. Do that. But I go deeper. Okay. Just like I'm doing now. There are people who watch this video. They just took what he said. But I went deeper. I looked at what he says in the beginning. He started by saying, we were shocked. He says, like just like everybody else. I was not shocked with the incident, but I was shocked it was Shivambu. And now he says South African. Now I'm analyzing what he says. Unfortunately, I can't just accept everything. I just have to look. I'm not saying everybody must be perfect, but I have to look at the video and hear what you're saying. It's YouTube, Baba. Anyway, let's take a listen.
Political parties. I understand how political parties in some ways work. I can remember I was in the city of Johannesburg in just before an election in 2014.
And I think the reason why he says South Africans now they've become an expert in body language is because he's using this thing of saying, because I have been in politics for some time in political parties. Now, I do understand your experience, sir. I do understand your political experience. That's great. That's wonderful. We will listen to you because you are in politics and also you are in parliament. That's awesome. Okay. But please, don't block us.
14. And often what used to happen is the ANC at the time used to find a way of recruiting DA councillors. And no, I'm not wearing blue because I'm missing anything. I'm just telling you about a period of time that was happening. And what used to happen often is that we would arrive at council meetings and then you had these councillors stand up in the meeting and announce their newfound love of the ANC. They'd literally get up and resign to much jubilation to the ANC and often to kind of like the demoralizing of your own troops. I hate to say this, but that wasn't the worst. The worst is often the witch hunt that happens after that. Because what used to happen in caucus meetings is that you'd sit in caucus meetings and begin to talk to colleagues and say, hey, what are you leaving? Who's leaving next? And all of that. And it was never on principle. It was often just about positions and all of that. But what it aimed and successfully managed to do is to destabilize politics, destabilize your own organization. So I think in some ways there's a sense in me that is more, that has that sense of compassion when I think about where the EFF's state is at. But I think the bigger issue that we've got to think about as South Africans is, what are we doing about the realignment, or maybe in some ways making sure our politics mature beyond this point? I happen to think that we're going to see more of it happen. We're going to see people maybe in some ways who might agree on ideas work together. We're going to see the dynamics in the next number of years of parties merging, some parties breaking up, new leaders joining other parties, etc., etc. And the thing that maybe in this moment we need to prep ourselves for as citizens is just a few things. The first thing is, this is all a natural part of moving away from liberation politics. Our liberation was led by leaders, and people used to say, I'm following this one and all of that, we oppose this. And so it is marinated and seized with racial politics and polarization of that sense. What I think we need to do is enter into shared ideas and what are the interests that we want to see in the country. So parties that agree on the constitution, agree on how the economy must work, what does it mean to be an ethical leader or not, need to begin to work together. And I think that's going to start to happen more and more. I think what we've got to rebuild in this country is what informs the centrist caucus. Those South Africans who say, we live in a multiracial society. We want to see a South Africa where races work together, the defense of the constitution, the idea of saying, how do we have a mixed market economy? How do we defend and make sure that government is closest to the people and it works for the people? How do we give a future upon which all citizens can feel comfortable that they can serve it? That's what we've got to answer the question. And for that to happen, the old must die and the new must come. The reality of it is that many of the leaders we're debating and we're seeing, their time will come and will go. We're going to see more of them in some ways. Naturally, no one can live forever. I mean, and I don't wish ill on anyone. I'm just merely saying that no organization, no all of that lives in eternity. So as they naturally, you enter a new generation, as a new generational mission. How is that generation going to coalesce? Surely that generation of leaders, our generation of leaders, can't be answering questions of our parents' future or pontificating on a better yesterday. We need to be coalescing on a different tomorrow. Those leaders, I bump into them in parliament. They are in their 40s, 50s. They are coming together to answer questions about, listen, guys, we've got to solve for the problems of our generation and future generations. We're confronting issues of unemployment, confronting issues of climate change, confronting issues of how democracy itself is working. These are real and genuine questions about the future. They mature us away from where we maybe have been. And so, to me, this moment, speaks to, at some level, there's a realignment on the left as those political parties are trying to figure out what they're going to do. They may configure themselves as this progressive caucus. Their politics, in some ways, on the right, as you think about what the ANC and GNU and all of that is happening. What must emerge is whether the center will hold and produce a new set of reconfiguration. That, in my hope and my belief as parties that sit in the center, is that presents a credible future for where this country needs to go. It's a future I would prefer. It's a future where...
Now, I do understand that Maimane is one of those politicians who want to see the country doing well, one of those politicians who wants to see the country working together. That means all the parties coming together, okay, working together in government, and also making sure that the services are provided to the people that they are serving, okay. I do agree with that. I subscribe to that, which is a good thing, okay. But the thing is, the reality of South Africa, it's a very, very, very far away from that, okay. Now, you've got this opportunity of parties being in the same level in terms of the party that has been ruling, has been maybe governing, I don't know which way to use, has been governing, now is going below 50%, right? Now they have to bring people in so that they can form a government, right? An opportunity where all the parties can come together. The problem is in South Africa, you've got these other guys who don't want to work with these other guys. You've got the other ones that don't want to work with the other ones. Okay? It makes it very difficult for this dream of bringing together all the parties to form a government to be actually possible. Okay? I've always said, actually, that this word or this thing that we are described with, which is called a diverse country, it has its own disadvantages. Okay? Now, the disadvantages, they are very, very, very bad. Now, they are very bad because it affects us coming together. That means one of the things that makes it difficult as a diverse country, it is to agree on something and decide to do it together. We are different in culture, we are different in language, we are different in all of these things. Others think they are better than the others. Just like in these parties, the other party thinks they are better than the other party. No, I can't agree with you, because what happened is, even you see in South Africa, you've got people like Mama Lema, you've got people like Helen Zille, you've got even people like, maybe I can even include Zuma. I don't know if he actually once said that. I don't know. I think Tutuzile Zuma actually said it. Okay, that during the elections they were asked, "Who do you want to work with?" And then the EFF was straight and forward. Those ones, they tell you straight. They don't even try to hide it. We are not going to work with the DA and the FF plus. It's not happening. On the other side, you've got the DA that says we are never, never, never going to work with the EFF. We will rather be on the opposition. Okay. Now, with that, in South Africa, it's a very impossible task to bring all the parties together. Just like it is difficult to bring people in South Africa together and do one thing. It is going to be very difficult, because you're gonna come with this. Somebody comes with that. No, we don't agree. In Sutu we do this thing this way. In Tsonga we do. It's never going to happen, guys. I am trying to be positive, but when it comes to coming together as parties, it's going to be very difficult. I don't see it happening unless I don't know what happens. Okay.
Citizens from different walks of life can work together. And what's become exciting for me since the news of what's happening with Floyd and the EFF is that more and more people are saying, as that is going on, how is the reorganization of the center happening? And that's an exciting project that we must be engaged with and make sure. So I think all of it is healthy. I know many people are saying, hey, what does it mean? Is it staged? Is it all of that? I don't buy any of that stuff, man. I don't think any of it is staged.
The first point that he says, actually, you see, what is happening in the EFF, I like the way Malema is approaching this thing, right? Yes, it is a bad thing. It's painful. Shivambu living, it's painful, betrayal, and all of those things, right? But I like the fact that he looks at it as a learning curve, or he looks at it as a growing way, as the party. Remember, they are 10 years. Now, when I say 10 years, I want you to think of a child who is 10 years, okay? They know that this is just a stage that they are passing through, okay? Even though in my own world, alone in my own corner, I don't believe that Shivambu will never come back to the EFF. I don't believe that. Believe it, it's okay, but I don't believe it, okay? Now, it's a good thing in the EFF that this thing is happening, okay? And the MK, they need to be prepared for it, because it's going to happen. As it already started with people being thrown away and everything like that, somebody comes this way, it's going to happen. That is just part of life, okay? And this thing then tools, the second point is this thing of being staged. It was now, guys, on that one, please, I want you to listen to me very careful. I don't believe it was staged. Do I believe there was a plan? Yes, I do believe that. Because when you think of Malema, you think of Zuma, these guys are strategists. I believe they knew what was going to happen. Okay, maybe they didn't know, but they suspected that the NC is going to go below, and then we must have a plan. Because obviously, I think also, I don't know, I don't want to put myself on the spot though, or put my head on the block, but I do suspect that they did think that the ANC is going to work with the DA. Why? Because the EFF doesn't want to work with the DA doesn't want to work with the EFF, MK doesn't want to work with the DA. Okay, so the ANC, they were caught into a middle. So this one doesn't want to work with this one doesn't work with this one, and then the ANC decided to take these ones. These ones, that means they are not in the GNU, so they are alone. Obviously, there must be a plan, okay, which I believe the plan was done long time ago. That is why I'm saying to you that maybe they suspected what was going to happen, which is a smart thing to know. As a politician, I know some politicians, they want to be genuine. They don't want to overthink. They don't want to look at things. They just look at things on the surface, and all of that. That is cool with you. But I believe that some politicians, they look beyond that. They look beyond the surface. They look beyond the outcomes of the elections. That is just my opinion. Let's go, my man.
I think it's just the reality of people leaving. Is it painful? Is it hurtful? Of course it is. And every time leaders move and all of that, of course it's disruptive to organizations. But more than anything, it posits a new frame of realignment. It posits a new opportunity for people who historically didn't work together, can work together for common interests and pursue what I think is going to be important for this country, which is post-liberation politics. Because the problem with liberation politics is that if you frame yourself as a liberation party, as Jacob Zuma stands up publicly and says he's here to liberate black people, I often wonder, how are we, what is he doing now that he was incapable of doing when he was president of the republic? I often think to myself, how do we...
I really don't know. You see, guys, one of the things that people need to understand, and is that I think this is something that everybody should know. The fact that when you are in government, or when you are a president, deputy president, okay, it's not like it's not that easy for you to do things, okay. Um, for example, Zuma did talk about the nuclear. Now, I know you will say to me, there was somebody who spoke about it before. I do understand, okay? But because he's talking about Zuma, I will mention this. Zuma did talk about the nuclear thing. He did speak about it, but people resisted it. They were against it. They were what? They were what? They were what? Okay? There are things that when you are in government, whether president or anything, all right, especially in South Africa, democracy and everything like that, it's not easy for you to do things. I have heard people saying, yeah, you were president. Why were you not able to do this? It is not that easy. Because when you start doing things, they are like, relax, my guy, relax. We've got people here. Because whether you like it or not, when people are in power, there are a lot of people that get interested. Some of them, they even end up doing certain things that are not supposed to be doing just to gain favor, on the government. Or that is why I think that when a person uses this thing of saying, but you were in power, you had a chance of doing it, and then it is not that easy. Okay. And I also said in one of my videos, I think I was reacting to one of the videos, I said that actually, because even Mani did say that now Zuma is going to get a chance because they want to change the constitution. What. If he becomes the president of the country, which I don't think he will, because when that time comes, maybe they are a majority if it happens, which I don't think it will happen anytime soon. I don't think he will continue with what he want to do. But I think the opportunity for Zuma, it is for him to continue with whatever that he wanted to do while he was a president, because we all know it's a fact that there was a resistance on whatever Zuma tried to do. Whether you like it or not, you like him or you don't like him, we all know there was resistance on Zuma when he wanted to do things. The example is the nuclear thing. People were like, yeah, we can't do this. What, this thing. They were talking certain things that were not even true. I'm just saying that using this statement of saying Zuma was there, what is it that he can do now because of whatever. I don't think Zuma sees himself now as a president. Maybe next time. I don't think so, because I don't think they will get now the majority to actually end up him becoming a president. And even if it does happen, I think it will be late for him, because it's a bit late in age. But anyway, let's continue.
Connect governance and parties' ability to deliver on a mandate of a future for all citizens with elections, so that when citizens go vote, they give confidence to new ideals rather than simply just being stuck in this personality cult that ultimately says we will vote for this leader, this person, regardless of their performance in government. I think we need to ask ourselves better. I think as a country we can choose leaders that will take us forward. And I'm inviting you to say, let's really work hard.
Okay, so we will end here because you can go and watch the whole video because he's going to talk about his mom calling him that they don't have electricity. Then he tried to talk to Mr. Mukhopa and everything like that. So you can go and watch all of that. Okay, but the thing is, guys, I do understand where my money is coming from. These are the guys that they have got good intentions. They want to see things happening. They want the government working. They want everybody to come together and make the country work. Okay, I do understand all of that. And well, thank you for actually talking. Now you are in parliament, at least we can have some people who can go on YouTube and make some videos, and talk to people, which is very important. Okay, but I don't know when now you are, since you are, I think he is also a committee chairperson, right? If I'm not mistaken. And if that is the case, I don't know, these videos that we are making, when people comment there and maybe you have done something in the committee, I don't know how are you going to handle that. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do the do's. You have a fantastic day. It's even falling. Relax, my guy. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. I'm all over the place. Thank you, ladies and gents. Sharp, sharp.